You're watching the Compulsive Gun Buyer. What's up, guys? So today's video is a follow-up to my last video where I compared the 10x perspective looking through a Vortex Razor 1:10 and a Primary Arms GLX 2.5:10. This video had some great footage and some very enlightening side-by-side views, so I'd recommend checking it out. The footage in today's video was taken on the same day with two 1:6x LPVOs. First, my Trijicon VCOG, which is a dated scope, but still excellent quality, facing up against the Primary Arms SLX 1:6 as our budget LPVO. As before, I'll show the two side by side so you can make your own informed conclusions about relative glass quality. A lot of people were impressed by the Primary Arms GLX glass in my last video, so let's see how their budget SLX line stacks up. By the way, this is the scope featured in the Grand Thumb video, where he torture tested the scope with the legendary recoil of the Scar. It's a fun video, and it speaks well of the ruggedness of the SLX. So this video has two objectives. The first is to showcase what kind of information you can perceive at 6x looking at a target 600 yards away. And the second is to compare the performance of a high-end 1:6 against a budget option. So here's the side-by-side starting at 1x. We'll zoom in on the left first, and then on the right. The difference in images is stark. The quality of the Trijicon glass on the right is immediately apparent. Now my partner is going to switch from the large sheet of cardboard to a full-size IDPA target. Then, in a moment, he'll pick up the black Bren 2 and a painted AR-15 respectively. There will be some jump cuts on the right-hand video, just to keep the two shots aligned. There is really no comparison. I'm not even sure the PLX is clear enough for a shot, let alone positive ID. If I was scanning for a target and didn't already know where to look, I don't think I'd pick them up. Look at this freeze frame. He blends right in with the background. I guess that's basically true on both, but it's not the same. And the movements on the right are much clearer. Like, you can tell that he's waving his hand and dancing here. Now, in terms of PID, or positive ID, through the VCOG, I couldn't tell you anything about the rifle that he's holding. I'm not even sure that I could tell you that he has one if I didn't already know. When he points it at me, it's not obvious, so even body language is tough to perceive. For shot placement, 6x would work here, and the BDC seems to be adequately precise, but we are at the far edge of effective magnification for anything else. That said, watch this video to see a more thorough analysis of the VCOG compared to a 1:8 and 1:10x scope. 1:6 LPVOs are great, but like in all things, there are trade-offs. Now, I don't generally like telling you guys what to think with this channel, so instead I'll just tell you what I think, and you can take whatever value you find. Till shooting this footage, I thought budget scopes like the SLX were viable options if you want to stretch the long-range capabilities of your fighting rifle. And to be fair, budget optics are getting pretty good. You can get a usable, very tough 1:6 LPVO for $300 to $500. However, after seeing the difference here, I think there is a very strong buy once, cry once case to be made with regard to 1:6 LPVOs. In other words, you may want to save your money and make the jump to $800 to $1,200, or just buy an ACOG, which generally falls in the same range. I say this because 1:6 optics aren't that hard to make comparatively. If you want a good 1:8 or 1:10, you may have to double the cost, and it would probably be worth it because these are challenging optics to make well. But 1:6 optics are simpler and might just be within reach of a budget-conscious buyer. And if your goal is to stretch the use of your intermediate cartridge, well, at least speaking for the SLX, I'm not sure it can accomplish that. You get a scope with a 6x, but not a good 6x. And since the LPVO is already a very compromising optic, you can't afford to compromise on quality. Unlike a red dot where you can basically get 80% functionality for $100 to $200, and then if you want to get the very best, you can go buy an aim point for $800 to $700 and get that last 20% functionality. With LPVOs, the money to capability curve is a lot more linear, at least for 1:6x. So whether it's a VCOG, Vortex, PST, or another Trijicon or Vortex option, or maybe even a GLX from the Primary Arms line, I'd recommend saving up just a little longer to buy something that will do the job that an LPVO is meant to do. Or go another optic route, or use iron sights, I don't know. Just don't compound your compromises with a budget LPVO. And that's enough for now. If you get a chance, let me know your thoughts and your own experiences with 1-6 scopes in the comments. We're just over 2 months for this channel's life, so all your feedback means a lot, and I'm actively looking for ways to refine my style and my approach. So please, if you have thoughts, I'd love to hear them. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you later.